And now joined by the AMA's Mike Pelletier. I know you were working really late after the race to try to sort it out with Hayden Deegan, and we'll get into the specifics of each incident. But first, just explain who is the group that helps decide penalties or no penalties like this?
Yeah, that's a good question, Weege. And you know, there's a panel that we created quite a few years ago. We call it race direction. So I have a race direction team. It's more of a committee based when it comes to infractions or reviewing footage. It's myself, Tim McAdams, and a rider rep. That's a fairly new position the last few years. This past weekend, for example, it was Andrew Short.
Andrew Short, yes. So if people are wondering, it's not just you. You had a ex-professional racer in there weighing in on this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's good every weekend. You know, we also have Jeremy Albrecht that comes in from time to time, Christina Denny. So a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of good perspectives, and Andrew was certainly a benefit this weekend.
Cool.
So let's jump into the nitty gritty of this. Obviously, the first one that we had to cross was Tom Vialle. His off-track excursion, the first moto, drew a penalty. And walk us through the thought process and exactly what was, in the end, the reason that he did incur that penalty.
Sure. So I'd like to start by the rule itself. So in pro motocross, it's very specific. There's really three main aspects to the rule, right? Did the rider, when he goes off track, did he gain a time or a position advantage? That's one. Did he fail to slow down? That's two. And did he accelerate in an unsafe manner? That's three. So it doesn't mean that all three need to line up for a penalty. There's multiple things we can look at. Those are the main three as it's written in the rule. So in Tom's case, he went off the track as race direction reviewed the footage, realized he never broke from race pace, so he failed to slow down. And when he did come back on, he really didn't assess the situation safely. We felt that when he came back onto the racetrack, he just jumped back onto the track. So that was a set penalty in the penalty chart. It's a one position penalty. So he was assessed that one position penalty for that situation.
Okay. So now we jump to Moto 2, and I'm sure this is what has kept you from sleeping the last night or two. Hayden Deegan goes off the track as well, right? And we saw riders going off the track throughout the weekend, berms blowing out. This is for the overall win, though, right? All eyes are on Hayden Deegan, and this did not incur a penalty. So walk us through. It seems like this was a subject that was talked about heavily after the race because we had a delay in official results and press conference. But what was the reasoning for him not getting a penalty the way that Tom Vialle did?
Sure. And it's important, I think, for everybody to know we have a lot of footage behind the scenes, not just the broadcast footage, right? So we can pull the drone footage, different camera angles. We go as far back to see his previous lap. You know, how much time did it take him in that section? The segment times, all of that's really dissected. And we try to do that as fast as we can. We do need to clean that up because I think it took too long on Saturday night. But it's important for us to also dissect that and come up with the right decision. So as race direction reviewed that, when Hayden went off the racetrack, he did assess. He looked around. We felt that he did break race pace. And for sure, he lost time based off our footage. So those three areas is what we assessed and decided to no penalty.
So what made that one take so long to figure out?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jason. And we try to do it as fast as we can, but it's more important. And all the footage we have, all the data points we want to look at, it's important to get it right. And that takes time to do. Now we're working on trying to do that faster. But again, with all the interviews we want to do and all the footage we want to receive and look at and view and assess, that just takes some time. And that's what took so long.
All right. Thanks for the clarity. Maybe a little easier weekend coming up in Hangtown. We'll have to see.
Looking forward to Hangtown.